All right, welcome to exterior details, right? So we're going to put some finishing touches on this model, right? We're going to add some trees. We're going to add some the ground, right? The grass, right? You could make a nice house, right? But the landscaping really sets it off and makes it look fantastic, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So what we're going to do, so for this roof, I ended up extruding out, right, that roof sheathing area where we put the roof material. And it actually kind of helped in terms of the soffit, that exterior look, really giving that, 3D detail. Right, so here we are. Next, so all this is a group. So we're going to take this, we're going to group that all together. Right, so now it's one piece, right? And we want to isolate that potentially from some other parts of the house or some other parts of the model that we're going to construct. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to line. So now we want to generally we're going to estimate it, right? A typical property, right, is about 50 by 100, right? Maybe a little smaller, maybe a little bigger. Right, so we're going to go 50 on the width, 50 on the width on the red, 50, enter. Boom. We're going to go back on the green, 100. 50 on the red. And then we'll lock it. So that creates a surface. Now, because that's a surface, we can make it into grass. So let's check it out. So let's do material. Let's minimize here. And I think it's under vegetation, landscaping, fencing, and vegetation. It says, looks like grass. There's also these vegetation options. So I'm going to go with this one. Right, so there's your grass. Right, so now we could right, so there's your grass. Right, so now we're going to take this house model. We're going to slide this back. So that's a pretty interesting view we have there. We're going to slide this back a little bit, give us a little bit of a front yard. Right, kind of center it. All right, so that's that. So there's our surface. Maybe if you want to give it some thickness, that might be helpful to you. Just like an inch. I think that pulled the grass surface underneath. No, maybe, yes. Let's reapply. All right, next. So let's triple click that, group that grass surface. So now it has a little thickness. Next thing we want to do, let's add some trees. So just like with furniture, you can go to 3D Warehouse and you can get trees. Trees are good for giving scale, right? People, humans inherently know, how big a tree is. Now, one of the things you have to be careful of is, we spoke about, size of the model and how many polygons are in a model, right? These tree models, because of all the leaves, have so many polygons, and it slows down your model so much. 10,000 polygons, right? Not terrible. Right, let's see if we can find, right, this plant, 5,000. Okay, this tree, is this a 3D tree or a 2D tree? One polygon tells me it's one surface. What else? This tree, 226, also gives you the file size. So we're going to try to go back. 3D tree, what is our file size? 3 megabytes. Let's see how it plays out. I always like a nice tree like this. Like a nice river birch, It's got some nice flowers on it. Right? Real basic, honestly, I would say. All right, but it gives us some good scale. Now, if we could scale that up if we want to. Right, age it a couple years. Click in the free space. So deselect. Select. You want to make sure it's not floating, so you want to find that and just place it on the surface a little better. All right, so trees give us some scale. Might need some shrub action. Or we could do a planting bed. This is where you can kind of get creative with landscaping. So you could use flower bed models. Here we go. So flower bed, perfect. Right, so we can choose a bunch of, looks like this is a 2D model. You could do a 3D model like this. I think that might also be a 2D. Right. Quick work. Down the back. Oh, see how that comes in real big. See how it looks. Interesting. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm gonna go with the shrubs. So see if we can get a nice shrub model. Tree shrub. Sure. Is this 2D or 3D? Dang. That's high quality, so we're gonna make that a lot smaller. There we go. Look at how dense that is. Like that's like a high quality polygon. I don't even know how, or want to know how this was made. But it'll help me in putting some detail on my house. But you want to keep it all in line, right? Yeah, like adding these details are so important, right? Because when it comes to whether it's drawing or creating these 3D models, our eyes are constantly looking for these kind of details, right? It really helps us with scale. And if it helps your eye understand it better and your brain understand it better, it just sells it so much nicer. Right? See how this file size is getting much bigger. So what Sketchup does is it starts to reduce the file size so it can rotate and process the information. That's why you're going to start seeing it start to like glitch out a little bit, or like kind of look a little different, right? Because that's what SketchUp's doing. It's trying to perform the best it can while processing. We're constantly adding megabytes. So, I don't know what our current megabyte file size is, but see how it's getting a little lag here. Look at that, right? Now we can control that, right? And so I'm just going to pause there to show you that, right? So kind of a nice, you want to start thinking in terms of views and things like that. So always click on the free space and deselect. Now I'm going to save it. It's going to freeze up on me, right? But it's intentional, and it's going to take a minute or two, right? While this is white, we're locked out, right? Because it's saving, right? But once it's done, we're going to dig into renderings, right? So it's going to say unresponsive. Now it's saving. Good. Saved. Great. So now we're going to go over to styles, right? And this is where we're going to jump into next.